Good evening to you. I'm going to talk a bit about some of the assignments and some of the other work, due for this semester. But again, tonight I'd like to really mention a little bit as far as how to set up the assignments, how to email them to me, and so on. The one reason why I have you email assignments to me and I return them to you through email is it gives you practice in asking questions and writing and practicing your own email techniques. It allows me to get to know you better. I mentioned in my information sheet about myself is I have an undergraduate degree in business and marketing. And so it was interesting how I decided to become an English teacher. But one of the things along the way that proved to be interesting is while I was in college, a good friend of mine was a really an avid reader, and as a result, she would take me to the library, and I started to read, Charles Dickens, and I probably by the time I was in college and in the Navy, I probably read about 300 books. And I mean, at that time of my life, I had much, much more time. And so it proved to be enjoyable. But anyhow, I was went to college. I worked a little bit. Then I went to the Navy. And then after I got out of the Navy, I ended up going to San Diego State University, which was a great experience overall. And then not long after that, I ended up starting to work here at WCCC. From 2007 to 2010, I returned to school and I went to Chatham University and was able to get a degree in professional writing. It's called a Master's of Professional Writing. So I've always been interested in writing, and it proved to be an excellent experience. But why I mentioned that experience is because it helped me to teach more effectively online. Like I started to use these YouTube videos more. I also make these MP3 files that I often use for student feedback and so on. But anyhow, back to an earlier point, when you take most online classes, most faculty will have you just submit your assignment right into the gradebook, and they will comment on it. And in many cases I would get feedback, but in some cases all I would get was, this was effective, thank you very much, where I try to give you a good amount of feedback throughout this course, and I think it proves to be helpful to you. So anyhow, that's why I have you send me documents as an email attachment. I comment, I give you feedback, and then if you have any questions, naturally, you can ask me about them. I wanted to mention too, I'm going to go to a Word document here. I'm going to have you open up a Word document, and so you can follow along with me. So just open up a new Word document. So you have a blank document. When you do your papers and assignments and so on, what I want you to do is I'm going to have you use a header, so you're going to click on Insert, and at the top of Microsoft Word, you're going to select Page Number, and then you're going to select Top of the Page, which will be at the first choice, and you're going to select Plain Number 3, and it's going to give you a page number on the right-hand side of your document. Then you'll type in your last name, and then you hit enter, or not hit enter, but hit a space and hit escape, and you will have a header. You will have your last name and page number in the top right-hand corner of each page. Then you're going to hit a return, like I said, and then you're going to do your first and last name, and then go ahead and put Mr. Hricik, so it's H-R-I-C-I-K, and then the class is ENG 162, and if you're in section WA or section WB, indicate which one, because I'm going to have, by the end of the semester, I'll have five different English 162 classes, so that I know who you are. Now, When you insert the date, you can, when you click on insert, you can click on date and time, and then you can select the third option. Like I'm looking at the one that says January 14, 2014. Check the box says update automatically, and then your date will be updated every time, that you change or alter your document. Then what you're going to do is center the document, and then you'll type assignment 1 or assignment 2 or whatever. If you want to put assignment 1 colon what my friends and family members think of me, that's fine. So that's how you do the assignments. Now when you go to save them, you go to File, Save As. So you're going to put like your first and last name. So I'll just say Lisa Williams, and then ENG 162, and then put your section WA or WB, and then give it a title like assignment 1, assignment 2, or whatnot. So that's what you do, okay? And if you just send me, a recent version of Word, like 2010 or 2007, and so on. I think there's even a version after 2010, a much newer version. But if you sent me those, if you use a recent version of Word, just send it as a Word document. Now, if you're using like Microsoft Works, or if you're using Open Office, which is actually a free word processing program and software program that you can use free from the internet, which is quite good. Then you would save in Open Office, you would save as a rich text format. So, like I said, ordinarily save as a Word document, but if you are using an older version of Word, you can save it as a rich text format or some unique software program. The other point that I wanted to tell you as well, and I'm looking in my options, you can save a document also as a PDF file. When you do the consumer report for this class or written instructions, they're probably going to be 10 to 15 or 20K documents. They're bigger documents, with some of them have images and so on. Save it as a PDF file, okay? Now, when you save as a PDF in Word, it says standard publishing, online, and printing, or you can also select an option minimum size. So if you wanted to send a PDF file and you knew people were going to be using it on their smartphones, you can, select those options. But anyhow, that's how I want you to, save your documents, and, that's what I'm interested in you doing. Now, when you send me an email for this class, whether you send it through Blackboard or through your email program or whatnot, again, in the subject line, what you want to do is you want to put your first and last name, so like Lisa Williams, English 162 WA, and then assignment 1, and then, or if you're sending more than that assignment, then you can indicate whatever work you're sending in your subject line. Now, the other thing that you want to do is when you send me an assignment, you just say, "Dear Mr. Hricik, comma," and then in the the first sentence, tell me what you're sending. So, I am sending assignment 1, which is due for January 17th, period. And then in the next couple sentences, just basically, get into what you were trying to do in the assignment. So in this assignment, I try to use specific detail and a number of examples and so on. So give me 2 sentences. Finally, in the last sentence, just say, "Please respond by," and give me a week to respond. And then you'll go down and you'll say "sincerely, comma," or "thank you, comma," and then your first name or your first and last name. So, that would be, sufficient as far as that goes. And so that's how you write an effective email, to me. When you're doing email, especially at the very end, tell what you want the person to do. You want a response by a particular date? Is it for the person's information or, whatever? These days, many doctors, or some doctors at least, will take email, from patients. And so, for example, over the holidays, I was in Las Vegas, and if necessary, I'm sure I could have called my doctor, but could also email, and ask a question. So, like, for example, I ate a large meal last night. I am having severe upper chest and abdominal pains. I'm wondering if this is indigestion, or I'm wondering if I should get this checked out. Maybe it's a possible heart issue. And so naturally your doctor would tell you to go to the emergency room and get that checked out. But what I'm saying is, these days when you write a question, you can say, please respond within 8 hours, or please respond as quickly as you can, or whatever. So try to let the person know, what your expectations are as far as that goes. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you is, I'm just going to go through this one more time so we're clear, because we were doing this in my in-class courses this week, and I just want to make sure everybody in these online classes are okay with this. And I have the Outlook web app, which you don't have. I think you have Microsoft Office 360 or something like that. But on your screen, either on the top right or somewhere, you're going to see the word options, okay? And you're going to click on that. And then it'll next take you either to settings or see all options. But when you click on options, it may give you, on the left side of your screen, it may give you that choice. So it'll either say see all options or settings, because the student email and my email are different, different setup here. So anyhow, so when you go into that, you're going to find the one, like I said, that says settings, and then you're going to have your email signature, okay? Now with your email signature, you're going to have your first and last name, and then go ahead and give your major, and if you don't have a specific major, you can put undeclared major or engineering transfer student or whatnot, but go ahead and give your major. Next line, you want to put WCCC, and then the address is 145 Pavilion. Pavilion is spelled Pavilion Lane, Youngwood, PA 15697 would be in the next line. And then somebody asked me in my in-class course if they're required to give a cell phone number. Some students didn't want to do that. You are not required to do that. It is definitely suggested, because if somebody, like me or one of your other instructors, or even somebody you send email to, would like to get in touch with you quickly, then they can. And if they need to call you, fast, they can. And then list your WCCC email, and then if you have a Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo or any other email that you want to list as an alternative email, you can certainly do that. If you want to skip, hit a return and skip a line, some people will use like a famous quote in their signature block, or on The Price is Right, Bob Barker used to say, "Spay and neuter your pets," or help homeless veterans, or whatever your cause or your interest may be. You can certainly put that in your email as far as that goes. Probably would avoid political statements or anything like that. You don't want to get into anything religious or political in your signature block, unless of course you work for an organization like that. There's going to be a box to check automatically include my signature on messages I send, and under message format, you can click the one that says always show BCC. And so if you want to use a blind carbon copy, so if you want to send someone else, that you don't want all the others to see, a copy of your email, you can do that. And then there's other options there. Play us on when new items arrive. I don't have that one checked, but I do have display a notification when an email arrives, display a notification when new voice item arrives, display a notification when new fax items arrive. And that would be it. And then on the right side down there, it says save. So you can save your, save your email signature block. Under spelling, you can click on that, and you can, if you want to, ignore words in uppercases, ignore words with numbers, but I always have the one checked, always spell check before sending. So, that's something you want to do. Now, the other point that I want you to do in your email is you can click on your inbox, and you can click Create New Folder. And there, I want you to create a folder that says Technical Communication. But I would create a folder for each of your classes so that you're able to have folders for all of your classes. I have folders for every single class that I teach, plus, like, for, I'm on cultural programming, and I have a folder specifically for, cultural programming, and then I have a variety of them that I keep, but the advantage of doing that is that you have a system of filing and keeping track of documents, and if somebody asks you something, really quickly, and they need something, you're able to, to search for the document. The one really nice thing that I like about the Microsoft, the Outlook program, the email program or yours is Office 360 and so on. What you can do is there's a feature in the top. You can search the entire mailbox. So if you're looking for something that I sent, or maybe your mother or somebody else sent, and you wanted to find it in your email, you could type the person's first and last name or the subject of the email and so on. So just wanted to mention that it helps to have a good system with your documents as far as like labeling them, and then also too of email that you get back, to keep a filing system so that you have an organization. I talked a little bit the other day, and I wanted to mention this again. You should use LinkedIn.com, which is a good way to network and collaborate with other professionals in your field. And then you can also use LinkedIn as a way to promote yourself, as far as, you can put your resume in there, and you can describe jobs that you found along the way. You can even include a picture. This one woman that worked at the college, she moved down to Florida, and she was an administrative assistant here, and then she's down in St. Augustine, Florida now, and she's a manager of a real estate company. And so myself and two other people here at the college, we wrote letters of recommendation right at her LinkedIn page, and I've done that, for other students. I had a former student in class before that was a Pennsylvania State Trooper, and I may have mentioned this the other day. Has a really nicely developed web page. He's working as like a social worker or a counselor now, and he lists all his experience with the state police. He was a, adjunct professor, and he's done a number of different other jobs. You can also include sample documents, but as I said, it's a way to get linked together. Sherry Knoll said that a friend of hers was on LinkedIn, and she was a public relations specialist, and somebody else said, "Hey, I'm going to be leaving my job. You might have an interest in it." So, she was able to get a connection to that job, and so, that was helpful. Now, as I said, for this coming Friday, the 17th, you have assignment 1 on friends and family, what they think of you, or coworkers. Assignment 2 on writing effective email. And then the last one is the information sheet. The information sheet can be even in an email. It can be a Word attachment or whatnot, but I just need to receive all of those. Now, the last part that I wanted to talk about, just to make sure we're all clear on this, is go into Tools into Blackboard. Click on Tools, okay? And I wanted to show you to see where it says Send Email. Now, if you want to send email to everyone in the class, if you had a question, you could do that. But you could also select users. So if you wanted to send it just to one person, you could do that. So when I was taking classes in Chatham, I always had a couple people that I always stayed in touch with, so I would send them an email through. They use Moodle, but I would do it that way. So you can always send email to individual students if you have other questions and so on. And the other item that I wanted to mention in Tools is they have, I believe they do in here. No, it's actually here. It is Blackboard Help. It's on the. It's not in Tools now. It's on the left side of the page. You can click on that, and you can email Blackboard Help, or you can even call them if you so desire. And of course, you can check your grades through Tools. And if I'm not accurate on something, please let me know, and I will correct it. Now, the last area that I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight is, if you notice, there is one in there called Discussion Board under Tools. I have to let that ring and continue on. But anyhow, there's one called Discussion Board. So there's like Discussion Board 1 and Discussion Board 1A. Now, if you look, Discussion Board 1, it is due for Friday, January 24th. With that one, you have to go to your book on page 684, and I want you to revise sentences D, E, F, G, H, and I. Now, with those sentences, you're going to see, like for each one, there's like 3 or 4 longer sentences, and what you need to do is to revise them and get that cluster of sentences down into one sentence of 20 words or less, okay? And so that's how you do it. What I would encourage you to do with Blackboard is, first of all, like I said, you can click on the discussion board, and then when you go in, you'll see the link. It'll say Create Thread. And then what you can do is you can type in your subject line your first and last name, and then like your class section, ENG, 162WA or 162WB, and then you'll type Discussion Board 1. But this is my advice to you, is type your discussion board posting first as a Word document and then save it. And in that way, if the discussion board freezes or there's some glitch, it'll work out okay because you'll have a copy of it. Don't, at the discussion board though, don't use an attachment. You can copy and paste what you typed in Word and put it right into the discussion board. And then when you're done, please make sure to click the button on the bottom that says Submit. Do not click Save Draft. Save Draft means that you're saving a draft for you alone to read. Submit means everyone can see your discussion board posting and it is live. So if you do so, in fact, choose to type right directly into the discussion board, whatever you do, I want you to click, there is a spell check button on the second line. It says ABC. Spell check your document. This is an English course. Spelling does count. So I want you to make sure that you spell check. But like I said, if you have a Word document, I would encourage you to do it that way. When I was at Chatham, I was at a hotel in Harrisburg, and I had to type this very, very extensive discussion board posting. And so what happened is I typed for 45 minutes. And then when I went to click Submit, it froze. So after that, I would just type them as a Word document, then copy and paste them into the discussion board, and it was much, much better, overall. The other one that you have to do for next week, and that'll be Friday the 24th, is discussion board 1A. And with that one, you have to create a first posting by Wednesday, January 22nd. So again, you create a new thread, you do your posting, and then you're going to have to reply to what another student said with your first posting there. You're going to need 2 paragraphs, and then you're going to have to respond by Friday, January 24th, and then, you respond to what another student said. So that's how, the discussion board works. And I've gone over 20 minutes, and I really don't like to go, so far. But there was a couple things that I really wanted to clarify. And the very last item that I wanted to mention to you, for this class, I want you to start practicing, your format, because in our book they use the ABC format, the abstract, the body, and the conclusion. And that's why I'm telling you to write an email, where you tell me what you are sending, tell me something about it, and then you conclude. So even with that short document, it has the A, ABC format. When you do letters, when you do memos, when you do the consumer report, when you do the documents for this class, they're all going to follow that same format. So that ABC format is critical. And then you also want to make sure to start practicing your format. Practice using headings. In email, of course, you can use headings. Use bullets. Use in-text emphasis. It just makes it easier to read. Documents that are easier to scan and skim are much more advantageous for the reader. And the very, very final point is be more aware of your word choice. I am not a fan of the words a lot or a lot of, some, a few, things. Try to be a bit more specific, and you can even give an estimate. So when I was driving to Pittsburgh right after New Year's, I believe it might have been January 2nd, if I would have said there was a lot of snow, that would be general. But I said if approximately 4 inches of snow fell in 2 hours, that would be much, much more specific. So try to be a little bit more accurate in your writing. So that's it. I'm right at 26 minutes, and I think that's enough for tonight. Thanks.